Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And for those of you who are new, my name is Joshua. And today I'm gonna go over 5 running tips for beginner runners. So at the time of filming this video, I've been running every single day for 350 plus days. And during that time, I've learned a lot about what to do and what not to do when it comes to running. And I thought I'd make this quick video to give 5 tips helping beginner runners not make the same mistakes I did. So tip number 1 is to warm up and stretch. So when I first started running, I was so motivated and excited to just get out and go. I'd throw on my gear, hop out the door, and just run for however long I could at that time. But what I didn't realize was not warming up before the run and not stretching after the run greatly increased my risk of injury from running. So now with every run, I ensure that I warm up before the run, making sure that I get my body into a good aerobic state. I try to warm up for at least 3 minutes, making sure I'm getting good movements. You don't have to do anything crazy. The main thing you're focusing on with warming up is ensuring that your body's warm so that when you start running, you're not running at a cold state, increasing your risk for injury. The whole idea is to reduce your risk of injury from running. And the same goes for stretching afterwards. I always make sure to focus on at least the major muscle groups that I have hit while running. So I'll make sure I'm stretching my quads, my hamstrings, my calves, my groin, and my lower back, ensuring that I stretch all of those muscles out, because after you're done exercising, if you do not stretch, your muscles will most likely shorten and tighten, which can then lead to greater risk of injury. And like I said before, the main thing you want to focus on is reducing the risk of injury from running. Tip number 2 for beginner runners is to start slow. When I started out my run streak, I got inspired by all of these runners that I saw running these crazy paces and running these super long distances, not realizing that they've taken months to years to build up to that stage. And so then I'd go out every single day trying to just like leave it all out on the table, running as fast as I can, not realizing that 1, I wasn't really helping build an overall good running technique with everything that it encompasses, and 2, I wasn't actually getting better by trying to do that. By starting slow, it allows you to focus on more than just running fast and running far. It can help you build that good aerobic base that you need to become a quality runner. So as much as you want to make your Instagram highlights look really sweet by posting all of these crazy times that you've been running, it's best if you are a beginner runner to start slow, build a good all-around base, knowing that you will eventually achieve those faster times and longer mileage. And tip number 3 for beginner runners, focus on time over distance. Now what I mean by that is when you're a beginner runner, you usually know you don't have this huge capacity to go run a ton of miles or super fast paces. So you need to start somewhere. I prefer that for a beginner runner, you should focus on time over distance. So instead of saying, I wanna try and run 1 mile every day or 3 miles every day, just go out and say, I'm gonna run for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. The reason I believe for a beginner runner, it is better to first focus on time is you're not so stuck on this idea of a certain mileage you need to hit. You just go out and run for whatever the time is. So if you run for 10 minutes a day in the beginning, run out for 5, run back for 5. It doesn't really matter how much you actually run, like the distance you run in that time. You're just going out, enjoying what you're doing, getting a feel for what it is to be a runner, getting a feel for what it is for you to run, how your body feels in those moments. And you're not, like I said, so focused on some specific distance that you have to hit. And as you begin to build this base, taking it slow, warming up and stretching, and just running these times every single day, you'll notice that as time goes on, you'll be running further each time you go out for, let's say, that 15-minute run. And so as you build that aerobic base, you'll eventually get to the point where you feel confident enough that you can say, okay, I'm gonna try and run 4 miles a day and set distance-based goals per day instead of time-based goals. And tip number 4 for beginner runners is to focus on your form. Proper form will help reduce the risk of injury, and it will ensure that you can build up to those faster times and those longer distances. So now when I'm talking about form, I'm not gonna get into every single detail about form. I'll have another video for that. But for beginners, the main thing you wanna focus on is to make sure that you keep your head up. Try and focus your gaze on something on the horizon, focus on some point. That'll really help you keep your head up, especially as you get tired and you wanna start looking down at the ground in front of you or maybe your feet. Another thing you really want to focus on is making sure that you have a good arm swing. keeping it a little above your hips and about a 90-degree angle at your elbow. Just make sure you keep that good arm swing. And another thing you really want to focus on with your form is not striking on the heel. So when your foot lands, you don't want to strike on the heel. What you want to do is try and have a midfoot strike. So you want to make sure that your foot is landing on the midfoot area of your shoe. This will also ensure that you reduce the risk of injury. And one other thing I do want to note really quick about this, another good reason that you want to start slow and focus on time over mileage is it gives you that ability to be able to focus on your form. When you're starting off, the worst thing you could do is just go sprinting and trying to hit these crazy mileage where your form basically crumbles in the process and you start to create muscle memory and bad habits of bad form. So then as you start to build that aerobic base, you actually are creating these bad habits that then need to be broken later, which could be a lot harder to break once you've really clicked them into your brain compared to when you're starting out by taking it slow, really focusing on that form while you're running slow, and then going out and just running a set time of 5-10 minutes. And while you're running in that 5-10 minutes, no matter what distance you end up running, focusing continuously on that form, ensuring that you're locking in good, proper form at the beginning stages of your running career or running journey, so that as you continue to progress, form is always at the base so that your overall running effort in all areas will continue to progress because you have proper running technique from the beginning. And tip number 5 for beginner runners is to set goals. Now, when I say set goals, I'm not saying you have to go and be like me and set this crazy goal of like running every single day for a year or running every single day into oblivion. Setting goals can be as simple as, I wanna run a mile. I wanna run for 10 minutes straight without having to stop and walk. I wanna be able to run my first 5K race ever. Your goals don't have to be anything crazy like what you may see on social media. Setting a simple goal, such as running a mile consistently or running for 10 minutes without stopping, can help drive you to continue running and putting in that work every single day. So those are my 5 running tips for beginner runners. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful or informational at all, please do not forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment below letting me know if there's any tips you used as a beginner runner to help get you to that next level. And as always, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get updates on when I'm uploading my next video. Thanks for watching.